Hello to all my fellow board gamers. Welcome to the channel all about economic board games, and I've got a treat for you today. We are heading to Chinatown, and you got the designer at the top there, Carsten Hartwig, and you've got the guys at the bottom, Z-Man Games, and however you pronounce that, to the bottom right as well, the guys who brought this game to you. So Chinatown then is a 3 to 5 player game. Got the rule book open here just to show you the businesses and what have you. 3 to 5 player game, which will typically take about 60 minutes, I'd say, up to maybe 90 minutes. And in this game, you are going back in time to Chinatown in the 1960s. You've got all the eras here, or years should I say. So you start off round 1 in 1965 and you work your way up to 1970. So it's 6 rounds in this game, and you will be building businesses on this board, and there's 6 different regions. They've all got these different allocated numbers, spots for the buildings, and you'll be building your businesses which look like these in the book here. And these are all the various types. You've got a photo shop, tea house, and you've got these numbers which represent how large that particular business can get, which gives you more income if you do manage to get to that stage. And the rounds, you've pretty much got 6 rounds, and I'll go through those one by one now. So you will start off by dealing these building cards. Now there's a stash over here, and you're going to take a certain number of these dependent on your card in front of you. So let's go and grab that one then. So in round 1, let's just say we've got a 3-player game, you're going to be drawing 7 cards, 7 of these building cards, and you get to keep 5 of them. So you're going to take the red number and keep the black number, and everyone does that secretly, and then once you've got them all, you know where you're going to be putting. So let's just say these are the 7, you're matching these numbers up to the board, and you decide, right, which businesses do I want to, or which plots of land I want to put my tokens on. Now the key to this game is to get adjacent ones really, or have ones that maybe your opponents might want, because you're going to be negotiating in a bit. So let's just say we discard these 2, those goes back in the pile and they get shuffled in, and then all of these ones, you'd look for number 75, you put one of your tokens on it. Where are we? 65, and then you basically carry on like that. 28, which is all the way up here, and so on and so on. So you'd put all those out, you'd leave those next to you because you may want to be trading those cards shortly. The next thing you do, so everyone's done that, I'll just put out a few more random just to show what we've got in this overview today. I've only got 3 different tokens. Next up then, we draw shop tiles. So as I said, you can see how many different shops there were. You'd all take a number from the bag dependent on the black number. So round 1, we're going to be taking, in a 3-player game, if that focuses in, 5 tiles from the bag, and these are the businesses that you'll be able to build on any of those spots that you've managed to acquire, or maybe you'll negotiate them in a bit. So let's just say we've drawn out these 5 here. We've got a laundry, an antiques, restaurant, jewelry, and another laundry. So you keep these next to your stash, and you start the game with £50,000. Annoyingly, all the money in this game is green, so you kind of have to distinguish what one differs. You got 10,000 and 200,000 at the bottom. So you have now drawn your shop tiles. You then get to trade, and this is where the fun happens in this game. And it gets a bit hot, well not hot, but it gets a bit highly contested for and a bit noisy. All of a sudden, as people can literally trade anything in this game. So you could trade the title deeds to the land. So let's just say, have we got anything interesting? Let's say this player had this one here. So when it starts negotiating, this player could trade number 64, and these guys have a business that they want. Maybe they have a restaurant, they're like, oh, I'll trade you that spot for that. So they would hand over the keys for that one. So let's just say, well, this is 65 in this case, but they'd hand over the title deed to that player. They might even chuck in some money to sweeten the deal. They're like, there's 50k as well, I really need this business. And you can pretty much negotiate money. You can do these title deeds, you can do you can actually, let's just say if this property had been built, which I'll show you in a minute, you could even trade that property that's already been built. You don't actually move any of the properties once they're down, but it might be that yellow's got a jewellery shop there and red's got a jewellery shop, And to make it bigger, they really want this one, so they end up taking the title deed and the business. That changes into a red one. So you can see the various instances where players would want to trade various businesses and various title deeds, because as you go through the game, some of these spots get scarcer as you go through the deck, and other players are holding back some of these cards, hoping that one of their competitors will acquire them, and then they've got a bit of bartering during the negotiation. The next stage then is to place the shop tile. So you've all negotiated hard, hopefully you've got something you've needed, maybe this red player's managed to acquire this land here. You can then build your, or should I say place your shops down. So in this case, the reds could put down another jewelry shop. Now you keep the red things on top to show it's yours, and everyone does that, and then you move on to earning income. And this is the key to the game. So this card here is basically on the back of where you'll figure out how many cards and how many building tiles you reveal. Quite a nifty little index card this. You can see in round, well, depending on how large your business is. So let's just say here we've got a jewelry business of 3. Now you can see the number 4 correlates to how large this needs to be complete. So once you've got 4 jewelry spots adjacent, you can't have them like diagonal like that. That would be classed as, well, 3 separate businesses in this case. So you got 1 large business, which makes up 3 tiles. So you would look at here, it's not complete because it needs to be 4 tiles to be complete. So you'd look at number 3, go down, it's incomplete. You would get £40,000 during this earn income stage. Now, if you had managed to build another jewelry one, and it was here, you can see that's all adjacent, all the tiles, and that's number 4. So you go along to number 4 and it's complete this time, so you would get 80,000, so a big jump up there. Now let's just say that business was there. You can see it's 2 separate businesses. You've got 1 there and 1 here, so you'd score individually. 1 incomplete and 3 incomplete, so you get 10,000, and then another 40,000. It might be the case that, let's just say you did have another jewelry one here and it was a size 5. That doesn't matter, you can only go to a maximum of 4, so it'd actually be 2 separate businesses. One of them would be incomplete, so you'd get your 10,000, and the other 4 tiles would be a complete set, which would get you the 80,000. So you can see how you get your income as you go from round to round. And then the final thing is you move your marker 1 space on the old year track here, so you can see, as I mentioned already, you go to 6. At the end of 1970, you will add up all the income from your businesses, and hopefully you've got some complete ones, and that is it. The most money wins. Now this one, as I've said a few times, 3 to 5 players. It does work with all those player counts. I prefer playing with the max number here, because that stage where you're trading in and you're negotiating for pretty much anything you want is fantastic. It can get a bit brutal. You've got to make sure throughout the game that you're, getting some of these, well, you're being very observational, if that's such a word, of the board as to where your opponents are going. So let's just say you're green and you get this number 29 and number 31 at the top. You're not going to want to discard them. You're going to want to keep them in the hope that yellow, when the time is right and they've got a building that you really want, you can negotiate hard and get some maybe money on the side as well. And that is literally it, folks. A kind of economic negotiation type business, building them up, and tile placement as well. Hope you enjoy.